Phase 4 of the MCU brought us by far the most content that we've seen in any Marvel phase ever, so today we are going to be ranking every MCU Phase 4 movie from worst to best. In last place, we have The Eternals. The thing that really stinks about this movie is that it could have been so good, but it was just the worst. It introduced so many new characters, and it could have been so cool, but the movie was ruined by the fact the story was garbage, the bad guys were garbage, and since there's 10 main heroes on the Eternals team, it's hard to give them all enough screen time. So overall, I like what Marvel was trying to do with this, but overall it just is pretty bad. Next up, we have Black Widow. Now, again, this movie was trying to do something really cool, but it just failed miserably. Now, this was going to come out earlier than it did, but the pandemic hit, so that kind of ruined it a little bit. But then also, it took place right after Civil War, so why did they release it in 2020? Nobody knows. And also, they kind of ruined Taskmaster. He's pretty garbage in this. I like Black Widow's sister, but that's about it. In the number 5 spot, I have Thor Love and Thunder. Now, Thor Love and Thunder was ruined by most of the jokes being pretty cheesy and the story overall being a bit bland and boring. And also, its predecessor, Thor Ragnarok, was a lot to live up to. Thor Ragnarok was funnier, it was more entertaining, it had a better story, better characters, pretty much everything. And Thor Love and Thunder actually ruined some of the characters from Thor Ragnarok. I will say I did like Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher, but again, that's about it. There's like one character that I like out of these movies, and then boom, the rest of it's just pretty bad. Now at the number 4 spot, we have Shenshi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I know a lot of people consider this to be one of the best movies of Phase 4 in the MCU, but I just thought it was good. You know, it had some pretty cool fight scenes. The movie was a bit lengthy, but overall, it was pretty average. Now at the number 3 spot, we have Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I love what they did with Namor, I love what they did with Okoye, I love what they did with Shuri, I love what they did with Black Panther's mom, and overall it had a really good storyline, and I thought it was a pretty good movie. It wasn't anything exceptional, but I thought it was good. I will say though, I did think it was a bit lengthy. Now, at the number 2 spot, we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I thought this movie was super underrated. I love Doctor Strange as a character, and in this, he was absolutely phenomenal. I like America Chavez, I love Wong, I love the Scarlet Witch in this movie, I like the story with Christine Palmer, and overall, it was really just a great time. And the only reason that it's not number 1 is because number 1 was one of the best movies of all time. I feel like about 90% of the people that clicked on this video saw this coming, but at the number 1 spot, we have SpiderMan No Way Home. Now, this movie was guaranteed to not be bad because it had every iteration of Spider-Man in it, but this movie was exceptional, and this is actually the movie that made me get back into Marvel stuff, because for a while I wasn't really too big of a fan of it, but Spider-Man No Way Home, something about it just brought me back into Marvel, so then I went ahead and bought Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. I rewatched them, and I realized that I'd been missing out on all this great content, so I've got to appreciate Spider-Man No Way Home for that. But also, it had some of my favorite characters of all of the MCU in it as well, so it was also guaranteed to be good once again. I like that Peter 1 actually had some struggles in this movie, because before this, there were no real struggles that he had. I mean, he lost Tony Stark, but that was about it, but this movie really showed Peter 1 at his lows. Not only is this the best movie of Phase 4 MCU, I'd say it's in my top 3 MCU movies in general. Let me know down in the comment section below what your list is, and if you agree with what I said. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.